Welcome back, soul family. I'm the Alchemist and I leave my body. And if you're watching this video, you probably do too, or at least a little curious about it. So let me ask you, if you ran into me out of your body and I looked how I do in the thumbnail, fire breathing out of my mouth, ask yourself, would you be afraid to approach me? Ask yourself. Be honest. If you answered yes, which I'm probably sure many of you have, hopefully by the end of this video, that yes will turn into a no. So stick with me and hopefully we can change your perspective on this whole dark versus light thing. And I feel like this is a good topic because fear is the number one thing that stops people from accessing the other side. This is so true. If you're afraid of something, you can't even, your vibration is so low. The vibration of fear is so low. You're not even able to break out of it. You literally like put yourself in a box, you could say. You can't break out of it. All right. So we have to overcome this fear. And the best way to overcome this fear is to truly understand what it means to be dark. Because in the spiritual community, everybody always wants to know what's up with these dark entities, right? Or what if I run into a dark entity? Can it hurt me? Can it do anything, right? So along with trying to change your perspective, I'm also going to show you what to do in the presence of dark, right? How to combat darkness. It's very simple. All right, but before we get started, you have to truly understand what darkness is and what light is. You see, a lot of people think they understand what dark and what light is, but truly they do not. And most of what's shared on this topic only scratches the surface. You know, we often hear people say, the dark is evil, the light is good, the dark is selfish, the light is selfless. And while all that sounds poetic, it's not the full truth. You know, on the other side, you'll run into beings that call themselves light. They'll be radiant, glowing, beautiful, yet their vibration feels hollow. You'll be able to feel it, so appearances aren't everything. That's number one that you guys need to understand, is that the appearance is not everything, because we've been so conditioned here on earth through scary movies, through vanity, that beauty is great and dark and ugly is bad. That is not the case. Trust me. And especially if you leave your body and you have a sexual urge or anything of that nature, guess what? A beautiful being is probably going to come. And guess what? That beautiful being is probably going to have some bad intentions trying to suck your energy. So don't do that. That's just one point, right? That's just one example of how these things can misrepresent themselves. Everything that glitters isn't gold. All right. Now, you can also encounter beings that seem dark, that look dark, shadowed, heavy, hooded, dark looking beings. Yet they'll carry this strange sort of peace about them. You'll feel at ease, right? Because vibration is everything on the other side. Frequency is everything, right? And you can feel this, right? But oftentimes people will run away just off of the look at it. And that's based off of their conditioning here. Think about it. All right. Being afraid of, first of all, fear, being in your soul, you should have no fear ever, because nothing can hurt, harm, or touch your soul. Think about it. The only reason why you're scared is because you think something could hurt or kill you, right? Well, guess what? If you're out of your physical body, you're basically like already dead, so nothing can hurt or kill you. It's literally, so being afraid in the out-of-body state is literally like being afraid of a non-poisonous spider that can't bite. Can't hurt you, but people are still afraid of these things. You know, so it's kind of like that. But I say this, on the other side, you can encounter something so beautiful that looks beautiful, but inside you can feel something is off about them. Or you can run into an entity like me on the thumbnail with fire coming out of his mouth, but you can still feel the peace, knowledge, and wisdom within it. So what's really going on here? Let's get into it. It's because light and dark aren't about appearance. It's about awareness. It's about remembrance. The dark can be compared to being in forgetfulness. Right? A being that's so far away from themselves, they forget who they truly are and they act out of love. The light is remembrance. Somebody that remembers who they are and is consciously aware of this all of the time. Now, the light can temporarily step into the darkness, but the darkness can also become the light. And we'll get into this a little bit more. All right, so let's get into some common misconceptions about what the light is. See, a lot of people think being light means being endlessly giving, endlessly kind, endlessly selfless, to the point where you give and you give and you give until you have nothing left. But that's not true light. That's the opposite of light. That's so fake. So fake. Why are you giving and giving and giving knowing you're only doing it for a bad, you don't really want to do those things, right? So it's fake. It's fake. You can see that from a mile away. And if you're giving and giving and giving until you have nothing left, what is that? That's not showing yourself love. You see? Unconditional love also means showing love to yourself and being honest. Nothing fake around here, all right? Because the light doesn't ask you to lose yourself. It just asks you to remember yourself. It asks you to stand in truth. It asks you to stand in truth so powerfully that illusion dissolves in your presence. And what most call darkness isn't some demonic force that's chasing you around. It's forgetfulness. It's blindness. It's the parts of the soul that has forgotten their origin, wandering through shadow, looking for their way back home. That's all it is. Right? So if you're an eternal soul and you encounter something dark, or I will say dark, what are you afraid of? Nothing can hurt you. And if you're walking in remembrance, nothing can hurt you. And you become the light, right? And we'll see why becoming the light is important. In this world built on distortion, where illusion is marketed as truth and the lies wear the crown, there is one force that never bends, never deceives, never dies: the light. What is the light? The light is remembrance. The light is wisdom. The light is truth. It's what remains when everything else falls away. But to find it, you first must see through the noise, because this world is a maze of mirrors, each one reflecting another illusion, each one pulling you further from yourself. And the world does not fear darkness, it fears the light, because once you see it, you can no longer be controlled, you can no longer be owned, and you can no longer pretend to be asleep, because now you walk in remembrance. The light is not comfort, it's awakening. It demands that you face everything within yourself that hides in your shadows. You got to clean out your closet, clean out all of your cobwebs. Look at your true intentions. Why do you really want to do something? It calls you to rise when it would be easier to be numb. It causes you to take a stand for what you know to be true. Darkness whispers, rest here, don't look too deep. It's okay, don't worry about that, we'll worry about that later. But the light says, stand up, remember who you are. So darkness isn't really evil. It's just amnesia. It's the soul forgetting its own power, its own divinity. Light is the remembering, the spark that whispers, I am still here. This is why I say coming into this realm, coming into forgetfulness, stepping through the veil of forgetfulness can be considered coming into darkness. And you have to find your way back to the light. And once you find your way back to the light, back to remembrance, back to knowing who you are, it is the most beautiful feeling that you will ever feel. This I know to be 100% true. And you can experience this great emotion over and over and over again. Because guess what? You can fall back to forgetfulness time and time and time again. You can have an out-of-body experience, have all this remembrance and all this knowledge and all this wisdom inside of you. And then guess what? You can step back into the human body. You can fall victim to the same forgetfulness that you did before, the same darkness. And then you can go right back to the light. Then you can go right back to the light. The greatest game ever played is here on earth, guys. And darkness thrives in comfort because comfort keeps you asleep. What do I mean by this? Darkness thrives in comfort. What's comforting? Not doing the hard work. Just going through the motions. Not truly doing your inner work. Eating bad because it's quick and easy. Going to familiar places. Repeating past traumas, past actions that you know are no good for you, but it's easy. Because it's hard to change, right? Darkness loves comfort. Now, the light asks you for courage. It strips away everything false until only truth remains. You got to dig deep, do that inner work. Be honest with yourself, because on the other side, all is known, all is revealed. Be truthful. Move in integrity. Seek knowledge and wisdom. That is how you become the light. Now, there has been this ongoing battle here on earth from darkness and light, right? And this is really twofold. Darkness is one, when you come into this realm in forgetfulness, right? That's darkness. When you come out of here and you remember who you are again, you just return back to the light. That's one, right? Now, there's another darkness here. Darkness that wants people to be in forgetfulness, right? The powers that be, the they. Those would be considered the darkness. Who are the light? People in remembrance. People standing up for the other side. Telling guys, no, this is wrong. Don't eat that. Do this. Have no fear. All the power is within you. All of that is the light. This has been a constant battle all the time. And this battle doesn't even just exist here on earth. But ultimately, the battle is within you. Okay? It's within you. And you'll understand that more as this video goes on. Anyone can speak the light. Anybody can quote knowledge. Say they have knowledge. Anybody can quote philosophies. But to be the light, that is different. Being the light requires you to be the light even behind closed doors. Who are you truly, right? Everything is known on the other side. Who are you truly? And only you will know that. Nobody else can tell you that. Do you feel right within? If you feel right within over every decision you make, and you stand in truth, honor, and integrity, and you seek knowledge and wisdom, the light is within you. So anyone can speak of light, but to live as light, that's rare. That's walking through fire without losing yourself. That's standing in truth, even when your voice trembles, because the light cannot be faked. It doesn't live in words, it lives in alignment. You can speak light, but if your heart is dark, your words will carry no power. You can quote truth, but if you don't live it, it's only noise. Light isn't about what you say, it's about what you are. To seek the light is to seek wisdom. To be the light is to live in truth. Let me repeat this again. To seek the light is to seek wisdom. To be the light is to live in truth. To carry the light is to walk in clarity, even when surrounded by confusion. The world is loud, but light speaks in silence. The light doesn't ask to be seen, it just is. You just flip a light switch and boom, everything is bright. One spark can clear the darkness of the entire room. Right? One spark can clear all darkness. So when you encounter darkness, all you need to do is become the light. That's it. Oh, you're in a dark place. All you have to do is become the light. How do you do that? You live in truth and remembrance, and you seek wisdom and honor. That's it. That's it. That's how you become the light. And move with love out of the pureness of your heart, with good intentions all the time. Everything that you do, behind every action, word, thought, are your intentions pure? If they are, that's how you move in the light. You don't got to give your last dollar to somebody. You just got to know, if you had another dollar, you give it to them. That's all that matters. But you don't, you know? That's it. It's all about what's right within you. The world is loud, but the light speaks in silence. It speaks through the calm, through the stillness between thoughts. When you quiet your mind, break away from all the noise here, isolate yourself, the light will begin to speak again. Every soul carries a spark of this eternal flame. Every soul is the light. Every soul carries this spark. Every soul. It can't be bought. It can't be stolen. It can't be destroyed. The only thing it can be is forgotten. Because it's already within you. It's already within every soul. So if it's already within every soul, what happens when you run into a dark entity? The light is still within them. It's just forgot. So help it remember. Not good versus evil. Not gods versus demons. It's remembrance versus forgetfulness. That's all it is. That's all it is. So the dark versus light. Forgetfulness versus remembrance. Right? You can say hate versus love. Right? Darkness will always try to make you forget what you are, who you are. It will feed you fear. It will feed you doubt. It will convince you that your light is too small to matter. What feeds you fear? The control structures here, the human programming, movies. What can convince you that your light is too small? Idolizing a false idol. Oh, look at that person. He's doing that and that. Oh, he's too big. He's too great. I'm too little, right? Idolizing somebody outside of yourself. Don't even look up to nobody. Because guess what? When you look up to somebody, you give your power to that person. Then that person can tell you something, and guess what? Throw your whole vibe off. Why? Because you put that person on a pedestal. There are no idols. Idolize yourself. Truly. Don't look up to nobody. Be it yourself. Just become it. Just become it. Thoughts become things, guys. Thoughts become things. But darkness only wins when you stop shining. Think about it. If you have a candle in a room, what's winning? The candle. The only way the darkness will overcome that room is if the candle stops shining. That's it. So the moment you step out of truth, the moment you step out of alignment, the moment you step out of unconditional love, the darkness will surround you. Because the truth is, the dark has no power of its own. Forgetfulness has no power of its own. Dark entities have no power of their own. It exists only where light has not yet entered. Right? If the whole thing is dark versus light, keep it real simple. In a room, what wins? The light or the dark? If you have light and you have dark in a room, what are you going to see? You're going to see the light. Every time. As above, so below. As within, so without. That goes for everything. right? That's why we call it the dark and the light, for metaphors like that. I swear, guys. It's that simple. So when you enter a dark entity, or in this battle of dark versus light, just be the light. Just be the light. That solves everything. It solves everything. Now, what's the purpose of this shadow of the dark? I mean, the dark will test you. That's its purpose. You got to see what you're made of, right? Who are you when you're in forgetfulness? Can you find your way back to the light? Can you do that? It's the forge that shapes your strength. Without the dark, there is no contrast, no awakening. To truly understand how great and mighty we are, we first must forget and fall into the darkness. To see how light we are, we first must experience the darkness, right? If everything was light all the time, if darkness never existed, there would be no light. You can't have one without the other. It would just be, right? That's where duality comes in, my friends. Dark is the teacher of resilience. It's how you learn to find your light even when the path is gone. So don't curse the darkness, learn from it. It showed you what you are not, so you can remember what you are. The dark is the forge, the light is the gold. And not everything that glows is light. False light offers comfort without growth. It soothes the ego, but starves the soul. Discernment is your compass. Trust your inner compass. As long as you know something is right, then it's right. The light will challenge you. The false light will flatter you. Not every smiling face is true. Not every warm word carries wisdom. So feel the vibration, not the surface. True light never begs to be seen. It simply radiates, and you know. And when you live as the light, the world shifts. You hear energy behind words. You feel vibration behind thought. You begin to understand that sound, word, and frequency are the tools of creation. The ancients knew this. That's why they tuned their word to open gateways, to move energy, to bridge realms. You can do the same. Your voice, your thoughts, your focus, they all carry frequency. By word, by thought, by intention, you can shape the unseen. That's what it means to be a creator. That's what it means to walk as light. And the greatest secret of all, the light doesn't fight the dark. It doesn't argue. It doesn't resist. It just simply shines, and the dark is gone. I mean, think about it. When you're in a dark room, if you flip that light switch, what happens? Dark is just instantly gone. It just is. It just is. So be that light, because light isn't a reaction. It's a sword. It isn't a balance. It's the origin. Everything else is temporary, but light is eternal. So be that light, not just in your words, but in your vibration, not just in your thoughts, but in your presence, and not just in your body, but in your being. You see? When you walk as the light, those lost in the shadow will find their way again. Not because you told them, but because you became the mirror that showed them the way, that helped them remember. And maybe that's why you're here, to remember, to wake up from the dream of separation, to realize you are the light that you've been searching for. So seek the light, be the light. Seek the truth until you become the truth. Seek knowledge until it becomes wisdom. So seek the light. And when you find it, embody it completely until darkness trembles in your presence. Because the light does not conquer darkness. It transcends it. And when you remember that, you'll never be afraid of the dark again. So as always, guys, stay grounded, stay curious, and always remember, you are not just in the game, you are the one controlling it. I'm the Alchemist, and I'll see you on the other side.